What's your favorite Bro Force Squad movie commentary?
Ooh, that's a tough one, Ghostface. Probably the one where we made that joke that really offended minorities and women.
You'll have to be more specific. Welcome into the Brofor Squad for another one of our world-famous movie commentaries on screen. We have our movies paused at Dimension Films Fully Up. If you're watching this on HBO, what second mark is that? 40-some?
I'm at 48.
I'm at 21, so who fucking knows?
Jesus Christ. Dimension Films is fully
HBO,
up. If you're watching it
again.
on VHS, too, just set your tracker to that, I guess. So while you get there, let's go around and meet the bros. I'm Matt Geiger alongside our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli, who is actually the reason this franchise has so many sequels because he kept getting the killer off on trial. You care to elaborate on that?
Yeah, look, he's wearing a mask. You can't tell me who it is. You wear a mask, you can kill whoever you want. I'm going to stand by that to your American right.
You wear a mask, you must acquit, or something like that. It rhymed the last time I heard it. I'm not really sure. Next to him is a man listed in Rose McGowan's Me Too movement. However, besides his name was, in quotes, just friends, it's the mayor, Jeff Hornacek. What's up, dude?
God, she was the one egg I could not crack. Damn it.
All right, well...
I wrote a lot of poems to her that went unrequited.
Yeah, that's true. She's busy, I guess. I'm sure that'll get touched again. No pun intended later. Dimension Films Fully Up. This is Scream. We're pressing play in 3, 2, 1, go.
I love when movies just open straight up with the title, because a lot of times I've noticed in recent movies, the title will play at the very end, and I'm like, oh, we didn't get a title sequence.
Well, it was the 90s. We were dumb back then. So people, you're at the girl, are you sure we're in the right theater? And then boom, Scream. Okay, yeah, okay. This is the one.
You guys remember where you were when you first watched it?
In some girl's parents' basement with a bunch of other people, probably in I don't know, 8th grade, 9th grade.
Remember when Drew Barrymore was like a sex symbol?
Dude, you gotta respect this.
I was 6,
yeah,
but...
Drew Barrymore being one of the title actress in this.
She's on the front of the movie poster.
Yeah, that's what I respect about it. That was one of the things that no one expected. Like, they have this big name actress, and then they kill her in the first 5 minutes. And you got to respect that move, because no one saw that coming.
The whole time you're in theaters probably thinking, like, okay, but that didn't really happen, right? Like, how's she going to come back?
Was she a big name now? What was she in, E.T.?
She was getting bigger, yeah.
Okay.
I remember I know this is really weird, but she hosted SNL in the lead up to this movie.
So we don't have microwave popcorn in, 98?
You do, but people prefer the Jiffy Pop experience.
I like to do it how they did it the old times Halloween, except I'm living in a huge, nice place with a Nancy Pelosi fridge in the background.
I've always associated this kind of popcorn with being murdered. Never bought this kind of popcorn.
It just shows you how bored we are as human beings that we could make popcorn easier, but we, for some reason, want to challenge ourselves.
My parents got really into making popcorn for a year, and they bought an actual popcorn maker.
There you go.
And then they got it for all of us for Christmas. And I was like, okay, thanks, Mom and Dad.
Don't you love when parents get into something that
Yes.
why are we so obsessed with this? I don't understand.
How did this start?
And it's more dangerous because they have disposable income. At least us as dumb kids don't have credit cards.
Not to go Chip and Joanne on everybody, but their house actually looks like a house that would be built today.
This is called feng shui. Everything's where it should be.
Everything's light and white, and the even the decor besides the TV on the floor doesn't really look like it's 90s.
Big windows, open space. We've come full circle.
Wes Craven with the tracking shot where he's falling. This whole thing is basically Wes Craven's love letter to horror movies, but
yes.
Nothing builds the creepiness where you feel like you're in the house with her.
This never made sense to me. Like the woman on the phone, like the man always talks to a girl on the phone he doesn't know because, like, yeah, this girl probably just wants to come over and have sex. But the woman's usually smarter than this.
Well, she's supposed to be what, like 16, 17 years old? I mean, I know she's obviously not, but
in my mind,
she's not going to be
she's
the
17. But that's for anything, really.
Thank God the cordless phone was out because Wes Craven was probably like, dude, if she was like attached to the fucking wherever you hang it up, there's no way I could kill her. Like
it's this. Actually, Wes Craven had this idea in the 80s, but he's like, one day I'm going to film it when there are cordless phones. It's how George Lucas felt in the 80s about Star Wars.
The exit poles, like most unrealistic thing was that phone that just charged all around the house.
But this changed crank calls too.
Oh yeah.
You know,
or if anything, really like started him off.
This is what's great about this movie is he's actually calling on a main line and they like can't find this guy. It's awesome. I know there's Star 69, but then like I mean I quote Superbad. He's like, but we're the cops. Like we can.
I think the weirdest thing here is like, why are you just normally at home with every door unlocked?
Back in the day, man, suburbs, you feel safe. You sleep with the doors open.
Not only do I leave the door unlocked, I usually leave a trail of Reese's Pieces from the driveway to the front door.
See, I come from a house like I lock the screen doors. I let the dogs in. I lock the screen door. I don't care if it's 2:00 on a Saturday afternoon.
I mean, I know.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I was just gonna say, I know she's going to be murdered, but she doesn't know that yet. She's really going from 0 to panic level midnight pretty quickly here.
Yeah, typically women don't do that. Usually they, it's a gradual. It's a gradual fall off the cliff. Actually, this phone call wouldn't work with you two because, as everyone knows, fans listening, you're horror movie connoisseurs, so they wouldn't even get to the point where they were killing you because you'd be still naming off scary movies.
That's a tough one. I really appreciate someone finally asking me that.
It cuts back.
Here we go. Are we talking...
Psycho's twirling
horror or thriller? I mean, I hate to answer your question with another, but
are we talking about supernatural? Are we talking about serial killer? I mean, please.
His feet up in the air on his bed. He's like, I mean, enough of me. Why don't you name a few?
He's like, you know what? I'm gonna let you go. You're really.
Like his wife's like, there's a killer at the front door. Hold on, honey. I'm on a really important call.
She's like, he's big and he plays football, and the guy's like, offense or defense? I love football.
He's a kicker. Oh well.
Fuck. You're fucked then.
But I do love this like concept. Imagine being again in the theater. Like this really, we'll get into this I'm sure, like restarted horror. There was a big lull in horror from the 80s slashers and then coming back into this. And then, going into theaters and seeing what you think is going to be a character that's going to be a main one throughout the whole movie. You're thinking something's going to get away with it somehow. I love that concept.
Way overacted. Now is the time to go crazy when your boyfriend's trying. But still, like Halloween, I'm like, dude, someone's fucking with me.
I mean, I know it looks like he's been shot in the kneecaps, but we play their rival next week. This guy's playing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Come on, Billy Ray.
He got shot 8 times. He's like, but he ain't out unless the COVID test comes back positive. Then he can't play.
9 concussions.
He'll play through the pain.
John Voight shows up. He's like, I still think we can just shoot cortisone up his leg and he'll be good.
How'd they get the whatever? God, that TV, dude. Remember a TV like that's an expensive TV and it takes like 8 people to carry it.
Remember when you had to go to Channel 3 to play anything?
Of course.
God, I miss those days.
Like, hey, I want to play a movie. Well, you got to go to Channel 3 first to play the movie or to play Sega.
Well, now that I know what to get you for your birthday, if this is what you miss.
Please.
So now she has to. He's like, before I kill you, can you tell me, basically the whole story of Halloween and what it meant to you? You think there's any hit meetings?
He's like, I just didn't get the ending. Like, is Michael the villain or are we the villain? Wow, I never thought of it like that.
I mean, like if I killed someon, like, so you think Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, or was it a cahoots? And then I'm like,
no way he could have pulled that off.
Huh.
Oh, you're wrong. Like he's asking, like he has to get it right. Like, oh, I'm sorry. The CIA was involved.
Before I kill you, do you think it had anything to do with the Vietnam War? I just want to, like, you're sitting on their lap.
He's like, what's your email?
LBJ?
I'm going to send you a few links. Right? I want you to just get back, look at them, get back to me.
Oh, see, this is a good trick question. Getting Mrs. Voorhees, not Jason.
Matt, I told you this. Remember when I watched the original Friday the 13th a few weeks ago? That Jason's not even fucking in it.
I know.
And
It's literally...
I mean, people are not watching this blind, right? Everyone's seen this. I'm talking about, we're imagining if someone's watching this, a few months from now. Because I love that mention of Mrs. Voorhees, because in the second Scream, we get a mother killer.
Yes.
And I think Wes Craven
I haven't seen the original Scream, and I was telling Matt this, probably like 15 years.
I've seen the second one, and there's 4 of them, right?
I think there's 5, and they're coming out.
I know there's 4.
They're rebooting it this year, actually.
Good. Good for them.
Hollywood is come on. No.
Hollywood's like, I got this great idea that we had 25 years ago.
Honestly, like during COVID, everyone's like, what's this going to do to the movie industry? I'm like, dude, they're just setting on Skype, just be like, what? Like, let's just reboot it all.
Yep.
Just reboot the world. It's fine.
I'm down.
I always, gotta get the letter opener.
So I'm kind of confused. What happened to her boyfriend's stomach? His intestine just got ripped out. Did you just eat Taco Bell and that's
Chinese food? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the popcorn burning the house down is going to kill you before anything else. And also, whenever he said, "Oh, the cops will never make it on time," like, how the hell do you know?
That's just a classic scare tactic.
Yeah, just getting her in her head. I mean, this is suburbs. I mean,
have you guys ever had this happen to you? And before you answer,
yes.
There's been times where one time I was in high school and my friend dressed up and came into the house and played it off for 5 minutes. And literally I had to tell him, listen, if you don't take off your mask and show me that I know you, I'm going to punch you in the fucking face. And he finally took it off. But it scared the shit out of me for a while.
People die on accident.
Horns, do you remember we did something really stupid where we were the person hiding in our friend's house?
Yes.
And we would flush the toilet. We would make all these noises. And now in retrospect, I'm like, they could have easily gotten a gun. And
we're lucky today. And sadly, that's not even the dumbest thing we did in high school.
No.
Okay, let's play the Broforce Squad. Where are they right now? Because this is like a cornfield. They got to be in California, though, right?
Or they could just do what Halloween did, Haddonfield, Illinois, where it actually is Pasadena, California.
It's mountains in the Rose Bowl in the background.
Yeah.
The Hollywood sign? That doesn't make sense.
That's weird.
I'm sure. I think just because, again, Wes Craven, homage. I'm pretty sure this is in Midwest, just because of. I mean, maybe it's not, but I would just imagine with what he's going for.
Geiger, in Halloween H2O, I can't remember the fun fact I had, but there was some allusion to this chick's address. I think the oof.
Oh, really?
Seeing her get stabbed is
fun.
Yeah, I think he's really driving home the point. Hey, just killed your main character right there.
This is a pretty good way to start a movie.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I don't remember. Obviously, since Scream, Ghostface was a very popular Halloween costume. But is this movie the creation of Ghostface, or was that something you could buy at a store before this, and they just popularized it?
I think they popularized it.
Yeah, I think they did. I was 9, so I can't remember.
But this was the go-to Halloween. If you couldn't think of anything, you just go as Ghostface.
It is a creepy mask.
He's normally she eats the Jiffy Pop right away. Why is it still out?
Yeah.
She didn't look so good.
She's fine. Just, some bruising.
He sees the chair smash the window. Oh no, she was drinking Surge.
Not a tantrum.
Yeah, nothing else causes this behavior.
Ugh,
she got into the Mountain Dew Code Red again.
Oh, yeah, and I love this. Can't call the cops. She's on the phone. They got to listen to her die.
God, technology back then. They also can't get on the internet if they need to, check their email.
Yeah, because we would have had AOL 4.0 at this point, right?
Yeah.
96?
And I'm sure they would have picked up the latest CD-ROM from Walmart, download it.
Yeah, that's the thing kids can't understand today. Picking up the phone in different parts of the house and you can listen into your siblings' conversations.
Oh, yeah. And you always hear them hang up.
Never know, yeah.
See, so they have to know if they could hear him, that he's, nearby.
Yeah.
That guy works quick, man.
Hey, he's talented.
I think if we get her down, I think she'll be okay.
Great opening.
Young Nev Campbell.
That's how I like my Nev Campbell.
So did Courtney Cox and David Arquette, this is where I know they're not on screen yet, but
this is their Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Look at that desktop.
Classic boyfriend.
Once again, something that should have been 10 pounds that was 80. I don't get it.
With the screen that like was so loud when you turned it on, it was like.
This guy's
That's
agent
why people
was
were
like,
in better
listen,
shape back
you're
then.
Johnny Depp from 21 Jump Street. You're going to have a great career.
Look at the dad trying to cock block. Like, come on. I forgot Jamie Kennedy was in this movie too.
Oh yeah, he's the audience.
What?
Is he the one who knows all the tropes, or is it Matthew Lillard's character?
He makes. Isn't it Jamie Kennedy that he makes all the comments, all the meta shit about how the killers are acting like they're in a movie, and so here's what they should be doing. And this movie plays that perfect line of getting, making fun of itself, being its own actual decently scary movie, and being just meta.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. If you're self-aware, then the audience can't call you out on all the stereotypes, because you're like, yeah, we know, we mentioned that.
And again, restarting the genre. I can tell you, I remember seeing this. I was 10 years old. I had broken my right arm, and my older sister was watching it on TV because it was like the movie, right? Like, especially if you were a teenager. And I remember just being so freaked out by that first scene. Like, just horrified. Probably why I got into horror. I watched stuff I shouldn't have.
Well, it's weird. I mean, like you said, this is Wes Craven's kind of love letter to the horror genre, but also he's like, I want to play in this sandbox too, but be aware that I'm in the sandbox. So even the beginning, it's like, obviously the killer referencing, Jason and Nightmare on Elm Street, but it's like sort of an homage to like even When a Stranger Calls and like some of those older films from the 70s.
Yeah, it's really impressive because I think you have to be able to convince a studio that your audience is smart. Because, again, if you're, and I'm sure a lot of people super surface level just watch this as a slasher flick. But I think to really appreciate this film, you have to love the genre like we do.
Yeah, this would be one, like, I could see a studio reading the script and they're like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Like, why do you keep making these comments about being a movie?
Yeah, take that shit out. He's like, no, that is the movie, brah. And he said brah, too.
Brah. Wes Craven started brah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's not ready.
No, you gotta love the trope of the virgin girl. And I think Jamie Kennedy says it at one point, the virgin survives.
Killer knows that. Skeet Ulrich is the guy playing Billy. I mean, that's really his name.
Ulrich von Lichtenstein.
Once again, take you back to this on set. There's no way he didn't look left, look right. He's like, dude, I'm the biggest star on this. Look at me. If Johnny Depp had a son that he cared about,
he's like, if I'm at a coffee shop and you're 30 feet away, you think I'm Johnny Depp.
How many times a day do you think he just runs his fingers through his hair to get it out of his eyes?
I think he's legally obligated to do it at least 40 times a day.
I think the contract called for it. Otherwise, he wasn't going to do the movie.
They're like, how's your hair always wet? He's like, I don't get it either, man. I don't know.
I grew up in Seattle. I know, but you don't live there now, so it's not like moist.
Is it almost crueler that she won't put out, but then she shows him her tits for you?
Yeah, what a tease.
Yeah.
See, that was like
that'll get me through tonight when I masturbate.
Yeah, I mean, this is before good internet. Like, that was incredible. Now it'd be like,
it was back when, like, dude, you would masturbate to still photos online back then,
Right there, in defense of villains, I'm already Team Billy. I mean, she didn't put out. Yeah, kill her.
We don't know that Billy's the killer. Maybe Wes Craven just wants you to feel like.
No, I don't even remember, to be honest.
Speaking of, well, she's in the background assume, but young Courtney Cox, good God.
Dude, if there was a like modern day, or even back then, okay, so Casey as Drew Barrymore's character, she gets murdered. There'd be like cheerleaders at the high school, like, I bet she did it just for attention. Got killed. Yeah, look, now
She
we're all
would.
talking about her.
Oh, there we go. I think it's California. This is.
She's contemplating suicide for a while. Well, really? Like, yeah, she said, just kill me. I hate studying for social studies just the other day.
She said, "Oh, I'd rather die than take this social studies test." I don't know if this is like what she meant. Well, don't say it then, you know?
They are in California.
Yeah.
They have to be. I think.
No, it said California. Yeah.
I don't really. I mean, Courtney Cox obviously beautiful, but I don't like her as a blonde.
Honestly, Rose McGowan, I always thought was like the hottest chick ever, especially in Charmed. I don't know why.
Dude, all the chicks in Charmed, dude. Her and Alyssa Milano.
I always like Rose McGowan. I don't know if it's like her. I don't know. I've always had a thing for her. And then I found out if I just owned my own movie studio, I had a fucking shot.
Yeah.
What? You don't? God.
That's all it takes, Matt.
And a potted plant. That's all you need.
All those two
I
things.
have the potted plant. I just need a movie studio.
So as far as I'm concerned, you've done the hard part.
Right.
That's
taking care of the plant. I mean, it was snowing where I was at the other day.
Yeah, I told you to get a
still
fake
alive.
one, but you insisted you'd keep a real one alive. Love Henry Winkler.
Oh yeah, the Fonz, man.
Fonz.
There's actually a scene later in the movie where his Fonz leather jacket shows up in his closet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do you think the director's like, because Henry Winkler, I don't know if you've heard him do interviews, but he's like the nicest fucking guy in the world.
Yeah.
I've heard the same thing.
He was on the Johnny Dare morning show I used to listen to out of Kansas City a lot when I was younger, and he was on there a ton. And he's like literally like almost too nice. Like if you met him, he'd be surprised that like you know who he is.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome considering his like how he started. You know, like
Fonzie.
being such a the Fonz, right? Like love him in Arrested Development. As he's an inspiration to one of my favorite lawyers ever.
I mean, him and Waterboy was perfect too. That's probably my favorite role of his.
And I don't watch it, but apparently he's awesome in Barry also.
Oh, Barry is so good.
I think Barry's one of those comedies that I'm not smart enough to understand. Kind of like Stephen Colbert.
So
He's
Matthew
not smart enough to
Lillard,
get it.
in 90s movies, Matthew Lillard is like always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Because after this, he would just latch on to Freddie Prinze Jr. and follow his coattails.
Oh, what happened to Freddie Prinze Jr.? Talk about 90s.
He has voiced Kanan in Star Wars Rebels for like 7 years.
Wow.
Did Matthew Lillard just rub you a little thin after a while?
Yes.
I never got the appeal.
He just was always the same person, and it just kind of annoyed me.
It was
At least
like
Jamie Kennedy's not the same person in every movie.
I actually I'm surprised. I thought Jamie Kennedy has always been pretty funny. Like I'm not saying he's, deserved to be more famous, but I'm surprised
before
he's not.
Nick Swartzen.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't make it a little bigger. It seemed like he would for a little bit.
Jamie Kennedy is in what a lot of people claim to be the worst movie of all time, which is the sequel to The Mask, called Son of the Mask.
I've never seen it. I had heard of it.
Most Wanted.
Oh, Malibu's Most Wanted.
Malibu's Most Wanted.
Malibu's
That's his
Most
funniest movie.
That is such a stupid, but like just guilty pleasure movie.
He actually dated. You're gonna find this hard to believe, but in real life, Jamie Kennedy dated Jennifer Love Hewitt for a very long time, like a couple of years.
Good for him.
What happened to Neve Campbell? Like, what is
she still does stuff?
That's a great question. I don't know.
I think she still does stuff. I've seen her in movies, but I don't think she is just into
check out Nate Thurman and mine's review of Skyscraper that she was in. Where I believe Nate said, "This is my favorite Neve Campbell movie since Scream." And I go, "Can you name any of them in between?" And he goes, "That's a personal question. I'd rather not."
I mean, there's Scream 2, Scream 3. Oh, and then there's that one. It's called Scream 4. I forgot about that.
Need I go on?
Do you think Franco was up for the role of her boyfriend?
Oh yeah, probably.
He probably didn't get it either.
They were like, "Look, man, this show Freaks and Geeks. Nobody watches it. You're never going to amount to anything in this industry. We're sticking with Skeet Ulrich, a bankable commodity."
Everyone loves that actors. You can just say his name rolls right off the tongue.
Is Neve Campbell hotter than Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Yeah,
no, guys.
Know. Maybe. I mean, it depends on what you're going for.
In the 90s.
Look, Neve. I feel like I could get Neve Campbell. I don't think I could get Jennifer Love Hewitt because, like, we would run with different crowds.
What does Barney Stinson say? No, you're right. Ambition is the enemy of success. He like aims for the uglier chicks at the bar. Dude,
I think Neve Campbell looks like a girl next door. Jennifer Love Hewitt looks just too made up to me.
If you have 2 tables on your deck, it's like, we get it. You're white and rich. And a spiral staircase? My God.
Oh, facing the mountains? But apparently there's cornfields out in the... Drew Barrymore lived out in the burbs.
It looks like California has a little of everything, man.
Looks like someone was playing The Sims and just started adding shit to the landscape that didn't really make sense.
I love how in high school, like, one of your friends was brutally murdered in her own house, but, I mean, life goes on, Jeff. I mean, fucking prom is coming up.
Yeah, okay? Prom's not going to go to itself.
Unfortunately, Hornacek and I went to a decently large high school where death wasn't as uncommon. I mean, not like it would happen every day.
I mean, you make it sound like we lost a bad person a day.
Oh, the duck.
But I'm just saying, it was like it did happen.
The duck phone's awesome.
Oh yeah, I forgot her mother was killed.
Yeah, that's why that's where this whole thing sprouted around. And so Courtney Cox did a report where she thought it was her dad. That's why she hates Courtney Cox.
Well, and she's also has interviewed the guy who was arrested or jailed for murder and has said, like, he's not guilty.
Sorry. Skip that. He's right. So there's a guy in jail for her mom's murder, and Courtney Cox keeps saying that's not the right person, and she hates him for it because she thinks, oh, you're just trying to create a story and get publicity. Right. That's the person that killed my mom.
But I think the dad thing did happen too. Maybe it's later.
That news report reminded me of that scene in Road Trip where the photographer guy goes, if I had to guess, I'd say someone was raped and murdered here last night.
What made you say that? Just a feeling?
Just a
feeling? Calm down.
Got like
evidence yet.
He's just taking like pictures of a tire mark in the grass. So is she home alone? Like, or does she live? Is she like emancipated?
Yeah, her dad
works late, Jeff.
Well, no, he's on the business trip.
Which means he's fucking
he's out of town.
24/7. I mean, that's an easy plea. Like, hey, your mom's dead. Like, I have to date.
I have needs.
Was there anything more awesome in high school than just waking up and it was 10 o'clock at night and you're like, well, I just slept for 4 hours. Now I can just do whatever I want.
Now I need to go back to bed and sleep for another 8.
My hours get pretty weird when I'm single. So I'm assuming it's like a Friday and she's just gonna hang out.
Well, and there's a curfew in town, Jeff, because there's a killer on the loose.
Oh, got it.
Which is kind of like the COVID curfews. Like, no one really follows. So I don't even know why we have them. It makes some people feel safe when they're at home, I guess. But I don't know.
See, I love this too. Now we get our second phone call. And if you're the audience, again, seeing this for the first time, they just killed Drew Barrymore. And you're like, of course they're not going to kill Neff Campbell. But you're like, but maybe they will. Like, they're not. I just appreciate the fact that, like, they keep you guessing.
Yeah, well, after you saw Casey and Drew Barrymore die in the opening scene, you're like, dude, all bets are off. Like, people that I thought were going to be in this thing might not be around much longer.
And then the onslaught of these kind of movies that came out after this, like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, that like had its own little franchise. I think that came out like a year after this.
Why do you think that Drew Barrymore got that role and Rose McGowan got the role that was in the whole movie?
I mean, it's got to just be she was right for the part, right?
Which I'm not backing. I hate Weinstein. I love Rose McGowan, but like,
no, but we know what he did.
Like, I mean,
I would be concerned if you like went with the opposite approach there.
Did Nev Campbell ever say he fucked with her too?
I don't think anyone asked Nev Campbell because everyone forgot that Nev Campbell existed whenever Me Too came out. They were asking like Gwyneth Paltrow and stuff.
Gwyneth Paltrow said Brad Pitt almost beat the shit out of Weinstein one time.
God, I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah. I'd watch that.
Because Pitt's like, he's like, you'll never make it in this town. And Brad Pitt's like, but I'm Brad Pitt. Like,
I am the Senate.
Sex symbol. Scary guy might kill me.
Again,
Let's just open the door.
His whole plan is fucked if any of these characters decide, like, I want to get on the internet right now and tie up the phone line.
Yeah, like, luckily, these kids don't have... I think they're all in AOL 3.0.
Then he'd have to, like, get in a chat room and be like...
Got mail. Yeah, if this movie came out 2 years later, he'd be doing this over MSN Messenger.
Yeah,
dude, that's what's crazy. Like that's how wild the '90s were. Like literally, this is '96. I mean, by '98, '99, the internet was a whole different thing.
Well, I even think the cordless phone. We already talked about this, but like this was like kind of a new invention. So Wes Craven's like, I'm gonna show that shit off every chance I get. A lot of well-to-do families in Woodsboro. Okay, now you
begs the
cross
question.
line.
Like this isn't. I mean, this is like Brentwood with the OJ murders. Like this just doesn't happen very often.
Except for last year when her mom died,
Hey, people die every day. I mean, not typically of murder, but you know what I mean.
Oh, nice little kick trip there.
Like that's what they were gunning for her early on, man. Like they weren't saving her to the end. They just wanted her to be gone.
One thing I love, and you guys can speak to this because you know way more about horror than I do, but I love that the killer is agile and quick. It's not like Michael Myers. That's like, I'm not scared of Michael Myers. I can outrun Michael Myers. He just walks the whole time.
Yeah, but he can outwalk you. That's the problem.
Yeah, because I'm fat as fuck. You're right.
Well, no, just in general. He can outwalk anyone, but also you.
Can you see Michael Myers in his New Balance just walking around the track of the football field? Like,
no, he's at the mall. He's at the mall.
He's got dad jeans on.
Just getting my steps in. Got the phone fucking on his belt.
Someone needs to do that. Just
his
go
collared
do the
Ralph Lauren polo is tucked in.
And I do like they make him Ghostface relatively human because he's also a massive klutz in this movie. Like there's plenty of times that Ghostface just like trips over himself or falls over things. And, he's not invincible.
Don't tell me who the killer is again, because I actually don't remember right now.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to. But I love how Wes Craven, like, throws a bunch of people at you.
I know, like, even here, you're like, all right, Skeet, he's just there. Like, you never see him in the same room. He's got a cell phone. He's mad he didn't get his dick touched last time he came over.
Also, that's not even a Nokia brick phone. If you're going to have a cell phone back then.
Jeff, that's at least a hand job.
Yeah.
Like, was it you? Like, what?
You have a cell phone. You're clearly the murderer. The murderer also has a cell phone. Can't do that today.
Okay. David Arquette.
Yeah, it'd be weird if you didn't have a cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually how you find the killer. The killer was calling from a landline. Where's your cell phone?
He hooked it up on the outside of the house. David Arquette, do you think producers are like, I want comedy adjacent? Like, well, what do you mean?
I want a guy that's funny, but not.
Yeah, like he should be funny, and he's definitely trying, but
I also don't want serious. I don't know what he is, to be honest with you.
I have to back him, though, because in Ready to Rumble, he's fucking fantastic.
Well, that's like the one role that he was ever created for.
Oh, yeah. He's actually a serious wrestler now.
He's a wrestler?
Yeah.
What?
Is he like in shape?
What kind of wrestling?
In WCW, whenever he was promoting the movie, they actually had him win the world championship, which was very controversial because if you know anything about wrestling, like I know it's fake, but these guys do, work their ass off to be world champion, and that's a big payday. And then David Arquette got so much shit that he's like, I'm going to devote my life to being a wrestler. And he's on some shitty promotion, like it's not on TV or anything, but.
Does he have a name? Like wrestling name?
I think it's David Arquette.
That's lame.
When did him and Courtney Cox are divorced, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I always thought they would make it.
He's in a movie cycle that we should do with Eight-Legged Freaks about the giant spiders that attack the town. Do you remember that?
I never saw it, but I do remember it. Oh, do you like that skirt? Both of the skirts.
Matt, I'm getting big time April O'Neil vibes from the yellow.
Yeah. I know. She could have played April O'Neil. Courtney Cox could play anything. I love Courtney Cox. Courtney Cox from Rose Mcgowan right now is just giving me 8th grade boner again. In fact, just give me about 10 minutes. I'll be back on pod here in a second.
What are you going to do with the other 9 minutes?
Make my drink.
Were you Courtney Cox over Jennifer Aniston in the late 90s?
I loved Courtney Cox way more than Jennifer Aniston, yes.
I like it.
You, dude. I'm with you.
I almost would take Lisa Kudrow over Jennifer Aniston.
Whoa, and you've lost me.
The dumb blonde.
Yeah, but the dumb. I don't know.
And her and Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion is a movie that's not on enough, too, by the way. That is a fantastic movie.
Skeet's like, I didn't do it, although I've wasted this entire time not giving you my alibi.
And Arquette's just like, yeah, I could just play it just like Barney Fife, because all these kids don't even know who that is. Just the dumb cop that fucks up everything.
Yeah, I think it's dad.
No, I think. Yeah, it's his dad. It's his dad. Because later she asked, who did he call from jail? And he said, my dad, but his dad was already there.
Dude, this like thermal shirt, short sleeve shirt, remember when that was a thing?
It still is.
Don't let the media make you believe that's not style.
I can get it back in style by March. Guarantee you.
Challenge accepted.
What I love is like, why were you over at Sydney's house? He's like, because I want to have sex with her. You know how much time I've put into that? Why would I kill her? I'm so fucking close I can taste it.
You know how many times I've let her tell me about her feelings?
Have you ever seen 21 Jump Street? I look like Johnny Depp from Cry Baby.
Watch how I'll avert eye contact and you can't really look into my eyes. Don't I look just like him?
I love so much how everyone else is like, this is just a fun poppy 90s movie, and he's just like Jared Leto right now.
He's like, I'm here to work.
So, Jeff, if you're really close to having sex with a virgin, but then she thinks that you're going to kill her and you also might have killed her mother, do you think that gets you farther away? Mm-hmm. A little closer?
It's called foreplay where I'm come from.
Where do you come from?
Anchorage, Alaska.
Well, sounds like I need to
make
a visit. What was the
pencil skirt budget on this film? I mean, it must have been at least $4 million.
I think it should have been higher.
And they just let anyone in the police station, right, to go talk to her?
Well, the cops were like stopping people, then they saw a hot reporter in a yellow dress. He's like, well, I'm sure you have a reason to get in there. So
the sheriff's like, hey, you've had a hard day. It's California. It's 78 degrees at night, but take my jacket. Oh, God.
For a town full of rich people, I love how dumb the cops are.
Well, they usually don't have to deal with this kind of shit. The worst thing they have to deal with is like parking tickets and maybe medical over-the-counter drugs. Oh my God!
Look at all the trophies. What are those from? Like the police awards?
The softball team.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Best misdemeanor arrest goes to Moonlight. Oh wait.
Why is David Stern at the Oscars?
They can have their own Dundees, you know, cop.
With everything that happened in 2020 and already 2021, if David Stern hosted the Oscars, I think that would just make everything right.
Well, you know,
and he named every winner.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I mean, I would watch out of curiosity.
Like the NBA draft. He has to name every winner. Like, what would be great is all the actors up there, but then he has to open the card to name the winner.
The first pick of the Oscars goes to... Damn, what a shot.
Uh-oh, cat fight. I love how they just let her friend, like, in all these places. Because she's like, she's my friend.
Oh, God.
Oh. Yeah, come on in.
That'd be hard. That'd be hard. I was like, okay, I love all of you, so I don't know whose side to pick. Who was at Rose McGowan's bedside? Was that David Hasselhoff? It's like a picture of somebody.
I don't think it's David Hasselhoff.
No, why is David Arquette there again? Like, what's his relationship?
They're brother sister.
Oh, okay.
Her and Rose McGowan. Rose McGowan.
Yeah, that's why he calls her Dewey. Or she calls him Dewey, sorry.
It's like, don't worry, you got the worst cop on the force here to protect you. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Don't
we don't even know if he's the killer, though, so I might be the killer.
As adults, I wish we could decorate our rooms like this.
Yeah. Also, why is Rose McGowan's character have 2 twin beds in her room?
It's likely just okay.
She had a sister that died. I don't know.
Okay.
Also from the killer.
That's really selfish of Neville and Neville Campbell's character to never mention it.
I love the mom who just like is oblivious to anything. There's a reason she's staying the night. It's because there's killer. Hey, there's a phone call for you. Some weird guy.
Shoot the phone. That'll show him.
I love doing it.
So Jaws made, obviously, like getting in the water something people were afraid of. Do you think this made like an unknown number calling you something you were afraid of? Because it was around the inception of caller ID.
I mean, think about like, the concept of, even now to this day, when you see a phone number you don't know on your cell phone, you don't want to answer it. And I mean, we got so used to blind answering phones back then.
It says like,
but
spam.
A phone can't kill you. Like and most of the time when someone's going to kill you, they're not going to call you to let you know about it.
Wait, hold on. Wasn't there a movie where the phone did kill you?
That was on Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
No, it is a movie though. One missed call.
A cellular phone. Like, why would it have an agenda?
Right, go around committing murders.
But yeah, someone made a real movie out of that.
Yeah, Liev Schreiber, our Sabretooth, is Cotton Weary.
Not my Sabretooth. Mine's the other guy from the first one.
The former wrestler in the original X-Men.
Don't ask me to look up his name, Jeff. It's fucking disgusting.
You know what's great about the internet? I bet you could find a fucking pocket somewhere where people are like diehard stands for that guy.
I bet some of them are listening right now to the pod, especially with the Brian Banner influence we have on here. He brings in all the crazy X-Men fans.
Banner perfected the hashtag not my striker.
Yeah, I know.
Sweet. I'm like, well, which one are you talking about? Because there's 7 of them.
I like that outfit.
Yeah, I like Rose McGowan wearing the nondescript number 10, no particular team.
He's my favorite player.
When Rob Lowe wore the NFL hat.
I also have a Rolling Stones shirt. I don't know a song, but I like the tongue. It's sexy.
Also, you couldn't wear that shit in high school. You remember how strict they were, especially with girls' dress code?
Bro, you wouldn't even make it through the door.
I hate saying how hot Rose McGowan is, and I feel like a creep saying it, which is weird because I didn't do anything wrong.
Dude, she's probably like 20 when she did this movie, though. I mean,
well, no shit, but it's just because like Weinstein's over there fucking licking his chops. It's so fucking.
There's a difference between saying she's attractive versus preying on her and using your power to manipulate her into doing things.
I know, but a couple more beers, Jeff. You know how these pods go. Those lines start to blur.
That's true.
Yeah, they're getting into the like she thinks he's innocent.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what they're talking about. They're both hot, but they both seem upset. It's terrible.
They have the exact same hairstyle. Is that the only hairstyle of the late 90s, I think, for the girls?
Yeah. It's like the Spider-Man meme where he's like pointing at himself like, oh.
I just feel like that would be really annoying. Like, I feel like the tips of my hair is going to stab into my eyes.
And her cameraman is COVID grocery shelves Al Borland from fucking Home Improvement.
I'm not bald. I have a hat on. What are you talking about? What? No, I mean...
I almost got that role, but now I'm here.
God, I was just a little hungover in the audition. Otherwise, I would have fucking nailed it.
I love Courtney Cox is cornering her on these questions that clearly the opposing lawyer wasn't able to do when she was on the stand. She's like, I saw him leave with the coat on. And he's like, you saw someone, not Kyle.
Everyone knows a news reporter
I never thought about
knows
that.
way more than a lawyer.
Yeah, it's weird because that seems like it should have come up in a murder trial.
Yeah, but... I'm not sure how that's not circumstantial right there, but all right.
Well, once we said it again, Cycli was the lawyer against him, so he.
Yeah, that's my fault.
He brought up so many red herrings that the jury was so confused that they just had to acquit him.
Throw everything at the jury; they won't know what's going on.
Simple. It's a pretty just simple court case management, really.
Of course, her ulterior motive is book sales.
Well, I thought she was genuinely interested in these people as human beings, Jeff.
She is, but also if you can make a penny, why not?
Remember lockers? How did we remember those combinations, man?
Do kids have lockers anymore?
We did, but because of... Oh, my God.
It's awesome that Matthew Lillard is the exact same character as in Summer Catch, except in Summer Catch he didn't murder anyone. We think.
What movie is he not this character?
Even in Scooby-Doo, he's this character.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I love this high school is full of 25-year-olds.
Yeah, and this is something that like is just there's not enough working actors of high school age, but they all look 23 to 25.
But I remember when you watched high school movies when you were a kid, you like thought that's what high schoolers looked like, and then now I see high schoolers and I'm like, they're fucking children.
Yeah, that's true. Like, do you have a backpack or anything, Billy? Are you going to class or?
When you have hair like that, Jeff, the class goes to you.
Yeah, good point. I'm actually not even enrolled here. I just come walk the halls to put out the vibe.
The history teacher goes whenever Billy's like just doing his hair. He's like, "Do you have time to like learn about the Revolutionary War?" He's like, "Yeah, I guess you can, spout off a couple lines. Why condition?"
Either of you do the hairstyle like that? The part the
Sean Hunter.
Yeah, the Sean Hunter boy.
I tried the part down the middle, but my hair just gets curlier as it gets longer. It doesn't really.
I'm gonna try it right now.
When you go in to get it cut, he's like, "Yeah, just give me a trim everywhere except these two side strands."
Yeah. You guys think this looks good?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Hot,
your wife's gonna ask to renew your vows after.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. I think it's permanent.
What a crime that would be.
I kind of feel bad for Billy, man. I mean, he's so close to getting laid. He's like, listen, I might just get with the slut because she's too preoccupied about getting killed or something. I don't know. Wasn't really listening too much.
Again, when you didn't have the internet, I'm surprised every teenage boy wasn't killing people.
Especially when Kazaa came out.
Oh, Kazaa. LimeWire was my thing, man.
God, I fucked up a couple desktops with LimeWire.
Henry Winkler.
Authoritarian.
The director's like, listen, he hates these masks, but he's going to have them on all the way in the office just so he can rip them off.
Can you put that mask back on and to rip it off forcefully?
I do love this way he's holding this. Like, you're like, everyone's an option to be the killer right here. Even Winkler.
Those are massive scissors.
He's so young there.
Yeah. Look at these soap dispensers. Wow, bathroom gossip.
Is that what it's like for you when you go to in your school bathrooms?
I used to just hang out in there to get the scuttlebutt.
Do you get your own bathrooms?
Yeah, teachers have their own.
That would be concerning.
I could just see Jeff in there. It's like, what? Sally dumped him? Why?
What's up, guys?
They were perfect for each other.
What's the sitch? What are we all doing this weekend?
I'm not hanging out with you.
Oh, I love this. Like, you're fine.
They're gossiping very loud.
Drew Barrymore got murdered. She's like, she probably just made it up. Nev Campbell's about to get murdered. She's just doing it for attention. Remember her mom? What a skank.
What, is getting murdered genetic? The sweater vest cheerleading outfit, has that been a thing since like the 60s?
No, I like to bring her back. I was going to say UCLA and the West. I mean, it is California, right? So.
Not UCLA, though. USC, yeah.
It's USC.
What about the Song Girls? I'm thinking about at UCLA.
The Song Girls?
Oh, man. Sorry. I'm going to open up a whole different world for
share your
everyone.
Screen,
did they just say Ricky Lake?
Oh, I missed the Ricky Lake show.
What's she up to?
Eating, probably.
She had the same haircut as Billy. Didn't she have the same haircut as Billy?
Yeah, I think so.
Ricky Lake.
I mean, I think there was really one generic haircut for men and women.
Billy who? Like Billy from the Power Rangers?
No, sorry. What's the lead character's name in this? Isn't it Billy?
The boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I thought of Billy from the Power Rangers. Skeet Ulrich.
I love when you don't hear anything and you're like, is anyone there?
Hello?
Sydney.
Yeah. And what if someone's like, "Look, I'm taking a shit. Could you just please stop talking to me?"
The killer is ruthless, but you're not allowed in the women's restroom.
Yeah, this isn't 2021 when you could identify something else. That's illegal. The killer can't go in the. Well, Jeff, are we suspecting that the killer is male?
I mean, based on his shoes, yeah. But that's a presupposition that
just because he's 6'8" and can move like a fucking small fool.
Yeah.
His speed, his ferocity.
Look at it. I see the League in Shadows. Alfred, when did you become the Mel Kiper of martial arts?
Honestly, Mel Kiper would be all over this killer. Like, he does have power and speed.
Look at the way he wields the knife. Look at the way he pries the door open. Would you like to get married in real life for like 3 years? And I'll hyphenate my
This chick was told she was the next Halle Berry by probably Weinstein.
Yeah, but talk about outkicking his coverage right there, you know? Like, how the hell did he land her?
Yeah, she must have just been bored. Like, I'm tired of dating hot guys, so I want to date you. Thanks.
So Courtney Cox, I don't know if you know this, her little... Well, first off, she made it big by being in Dancing in the Dark, the Bruce Springsteen music video. And then she was in Counting Crows Along December because she dated the lead singer, the guy with dreadlocks.
Wow.
So she's not dated like... Now, if you date a lead singer, he doesn't really have to be good looking.
No.
That's just musicians get away with that. But she's had some questionable dating. I'm pretty sure she dated an athlete too.
You know, well, she kind of reminds me of Heather Locklear in that sense.
Yeah.
Super hot, especially in like the mid to late 90s.
But what are we doing?
Right, but like make
do
some
so much better.
Questionable choices.
Because she has so many names brought up.
Kind of like
Locklear.
I mean, she hasn't had Locklear, maybe more so now, but back in the day they weren't like Britney Spears nuts or anything. I think they were well thought of people.
You clearly haven't seen Framing Britney Spears, so I'm just going to let you go educate yourself first.
My wife loves Britney Spears. Like, before all this shit happened, like, I was going to take her to the show in Vegas before she gave birth. But
do you have Hulu, Matt? Because you got to watch the documentary.
I do have Hulu. Okay, good, because my wife will love to watch that. I'll watch it and talk about it next pod, Protein Shake.
I would love to talk about it with you. A lot of the news crew, I understand that there's like a murder and a lot of backstory here, but the news crew presence at this high school is kind of insane.
So we're just going to let them on the high school grounds? Like, don't you think, okay, Jeff, there's a murder on the loose. We know they want to kill a high school student. So what do? Let's let more people in.
Bingo.
When we don't know who the killer is. That makes no
trap.
sense. Everything should be locked down.
Horns and I once had the news crew showed up to our intermediate high school because the skaters were fighting the Mexicans. And there were a lot of threats of violence going down, and we both showed up to school, and there were all of the news vans there. Like, it was kind of disgusting because they were clearly wanting something to happen.
Well, and if I'm like a kid that's considering fighting, and I see like a bunch of news crews, I'm like, dude, well, now I'm definitely fighting.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, cyclically, our administration prevented the war with the use of pizza.
Yes, they delivered pizza to both sides at lunch, keeping them apart. It's beautiful.
I love this too. This is so high school. Like, all right, one of your friends just got murdered. Your other friend has almost got murdered twice. There's a fucking like lockdown curfew, and then Matthew Lillard was like, "Hey, party at my place, by the way. Everyone's in."
I feel like it's realistic to me,
though.
It's
a two-kegger.
As stupid as it is, like I feel like that would happen.
But you know how hard it is to get kegs in high school? You're just gonna cancel it because you might get murdered? No.
Right. If someone's parents are out of town and you have an older brother, that's an opportunity.
It's called freedom in America. That's what you could do. Just have the keg.
Henry Winkler trying the mask on is like, look, am I satisfied with my life? Of course, but that doesn't mean I don't like to role play when no one's around.
She's like, I'm never gonna lose my hair.
Ever. And they made you fucking Freddy Krueger illusion here, clearly. Based on that guy's sweater.
Yeah. Love it.
Was it hat day at the school? Why is the janitor able to dress like that?
Yeah, he has to wear a costume. Come on.
Whenever a killer's on the loose, they get a half day.
It's just smart. Got to keep everybody refreshed.
It was crazy. It was crazy hat day. It's Spirit Week.
I encourage all of our faculty and staff to get involved in the Spirit Days.
He's like, there's a
Tomorrow's gonna be
killer on the
crazy hair
loose.
day.
Everyone
There's the Fonzie
be
jacket. Did you see it? The leather
extremely
one?
on high alert. Also,
Yes.
it's Hawaiian Shirt Day Friday, so if you want to
Don't take advantage of me. Button them up. Jesus.
wear a Hawaiian shirt and jeans.
No midriff exposed though. In fucking Europe.
One
Okay,
time we
this-
had injury. Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
So, technically, this is the part I never really understood at all coming up because he hasn't done anything unless right now you think this is just a red herring. Unless you think the killers
Yeah.
are one of the kids that he just suspended.
I think that's the thing. The killers just are enjoying killing too. Like it's like there is an ulterior motive and idea for them doing what they're doing, but I think it's a combination of they also like killing and they're making a story for it, and
he's
it
an
is a little bit
authority
of red herring.
figure, you know.
Yeah.
he sent him to detention. They didn't like that.
He tried his mask on. That's just kind of fucked up. I house sit for my sister all the time. I don't claim I own her house.
God, do you think the director just had what if Henry Winkler in his eyeball you saw the mask?
Go
Like,
on.
Jesus.
No, that's the idea. That's all of it. Oh.
Yeah. And then let's have Californian kids with a huge ass plantation patio talking about how hard life is. Can Rose McGowan be in have her bare midriff shown? Yeah, absolutely.
This is real angst. Look behind us. There's only 2 deck tables here. 2. Wow, that is tough.
There used to be 4. And are you saying the killers? No, it was rain damage. I'm just saying that, life is tough.
Right, that's what happens when you don't get the right lacquer to waterproof your deck. But also, it was a rough year because, like you said, my mom did get raped and murdered.
We went to Lowe's, but they just don't have our color scheme. So I know what you're feeling, Sydney.
And there's a few things I'm not going to compromise on, and it's the color of my deck furniture. Is Rose McGowan a brunette in Charmed? They're all brunettes,
She's
right?
kind of like dark red-haired and kind of brunette. Yeah.
God, I miss video stores.
You should
Yeah,
watch.
same.
It's on TNT in the morning. Watch Charm sometime. Literally the worst acting I've ever seen.
Dude, there
You
was
do?
nothing more exciting than going to the video store.
Not knowing what you're going to rent, but you
Yeah.
Why would the killer be out in broad daylight? That makes no fucking sense.
Best place to hide is plain sight.
Honestly, and what sucked is the video store was kind of getting out of date when I was in high school, but that'd be a cool place to work, dude.
100.
Dude, I remember I applied once to Blockbuster in 10th grade or 9th grade. I wanted the job so bad because I remember they said you got 5 free rentals a week, and I thought that
Are you
was
kidding me?
No, I thought that was the fucking greatest thing I'd ever heard.
Now, can any of those be new releases?
I have no idea. I mean, it's been 12 years.
How do you not remember this? It was only 20 years ago.
Yeah, sorry. God, I just remember applying and not getting a call back, being so upset. Had to just keep working at the TCBY, getting free ice cream all day.
Dude, another cool thing about working at the video store is they were always playing some movie
Oh yeah.
over there. So you could just get fucking paid to watch movies and occasionally ring somebody up. How hard is that job?
Oh, you had to have the rewind machine for those assholes who didn't rewind the VHSs.
Yeah, this is great exposition here.
Did you
And,
guys have the rewinder machine? Sorry.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. I don't like to brag, but we were pretty well off.
Dude, I remember my cousin had a boyfriend. He worked at a Blockbuster, and he always thought he's big dick. He's like, "Yeah, Titanic's coming out next week, but we already got it in, so we can watch it tonight."
Shit. Dude, I would have been like that though. I think we all would have been.
You're like, oh my god. Yeah, there's 4 extra minutes of footage, but
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually so long it came in 2 tapes.
Yes,
So
I remember that. I had the VHS of that.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves was that movie. It had 2 tapes.
I remember Braveheart also.
Except my Titanic was always just straight to the nude painting scene, so I only needed that copy.
It's crazy how stupid we were to not rewind or fast forward past that spot on the VHS.
Yeah, then it would have been obvious. My parents were like, well, it's on the boob scene. Clearly he wasn't watching because he would have moved it.
God, Matthew Lillard, he's just bothering me.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about his face. It's a very punchable face, I think.
It looks like he's laughing at the fact that he gets paid to be an actor. Can't believe I fucking pulled the wool over you guys.
He had to have known someone, right? He wasn't a drama nerd in middle school and was like, man, I have a passion for this.
He looks like the guy who would show up to be in the play just to, like the drama nerd would be in love with the lead actress, and he would just show up to try and steal her from him.
Yeah.
Like he's not even interested in acting. The cars back then, love them.
Yeah, but I do love that scene in general. Just one, it takes us back to being in the video stores, but just that's really Wes Craven's, ability to talk about his love for this genre itself.
So the curfew was imposed because of a murder threat?
Just the murder being around town, yeah.
And obviously they're throwing the party to subvert authority.
Of course.
Be like, fuck you guys. The tighter you squeeze, the more we're going to rebel.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even, like, being a teenager, especially this day and age, God, I don't even want to imagine, like, what the fuck we'd get up to if we were stuck at home for a year. And I laughed at the fact that, like, we would be, like, wild and partying, but, we would just be playing NCAA 06 nonstop. Yes.
Well, that's more productive, yeah.
We get laid, we get all these chicks, we literally never leave your room.
Why to leave? I guess food and use the restroom are the only two. Now, Rose McGowan, she's supposed to be like the eccentric, weirdly dressed one, or is this just how people dressed?
I think the 90s we were always weirdly dressed in denim in general, like combination, either denim or weirdly dressed. Because I mean, we were kids in the 90s. Like, I mean, I was, I just remember the 90s. I just kind of remember like people dressed like kind of weirder back then.
Dude, why would you be in the grocery store at Ghostface? Like,
no one saw him.
This is what I love about this town. It's like, okay, we know the killer's going after her. So instead of putting, like a watch on her or something, let's just give the worst cop's sister, like, he'll just watch it. And no one sees this guy at the fucking grocery store.
Why does he need to be in costume at the grocery store? Because he's definitely not going to kill her in the grocery store.
Right. He could be anybody, and we'd be like, oh, cool, that guy's there. And then we'd look back and be like, oh, man, remember the scene where he was in the grocery store? He was watching them.
There's some weird, and again, I'm not a filmmaker, so I don't know the conversation here, but like the directorial choice, why is Wes Craven like, I need him to be eating a soft serve ice cream cone in this conversation?
He's the doofy cop. Like, every character is a trope in this movie.
I know, but at this point, like, the point's been driven home by, like, every scene he's had on screen. I don't need him to be, like, licking on a fucking fudgesicle.
What I love is the cop's just like, it's the anniversary of Sydney's mom's death tomorrow, so that's when the killer's going to strike. Don't you think the killer would be like, no, that's too obvious. Like, maybe I should just do it next Thursday.
Right.
Well, no, the Bengals play, and I got money on that game. Let's do it.
And I'm
Thursday night football was a thing
here
in the 90s.
right now too. Yeah,
kids in Woodsboro, California, are caring about the Bengals. No one in even Cincinnati cares about the Bengals.
That's why it's cool to care about them. Cycling.
When it's a fucking backdoor point spread cycling, people care.
Yeah. I get the injury report a few days before everybody else. I'm able to jump on these lines.
I love this so much. Like, yeah, there's a killer after me. I'm not sure if this is the same person that killed my mom, but there's also a party, so.
And if you're the cop, he's like, look, I'm not going to say I am, I'm not going to say I'm not, but I'm basically using you as human bait. Here, okay?
It was great. He's a cop, there's a curfew in place, and he's dropping them off at this raging kegger where they don't know who the killer is.
But if we're teenagers, wouldn't we all say, like, when we convince our parents, like, hey, I'm going to be surrounded by, like, 50 people, we're safe. I think that's probably how we would convince it.
Matthew Lillard has on Chaz Reinhold's robe from Wedding Crashers.
So it's like a fun little party.
Okay, I think we've talked about this in a lot of our movie commentaries, but like in movies, high school parties always have like an assortment of snacks. No party I ever went to in high school had like a fucking bowl of Cheetos out.
Like whenever you went to a high school party, there was two things. There was the speaker from whoever was throwing the party in their bedroom that they moved to the living room for music. And there was a keg there was a bucket with a keg in it, and that was it. There was no chips. Now there was some maybe fudge nuggets that someone just took from a pantry somewhere.
Yeah. Or someone's like walking around with a box of like goldfish. You're like, where'd you get that? From my mom's pantry? That's how we're gonna know I had a party.
The food was always for the pre-party. You remember that? Or is
Yeah.
that like if we were hanging out before the party, we put the food out. It was all gone well before the crowd got
I wasn't invited to many parties because I couldn't fit inside many doors.
Right.
But
The maximum occupancy would be like 60 people or 3 Matt Geigers.
yeah, right.
Matt, I swear, hey, one of these days we're gonna get you in.
Like literally in the door, or
Just inside a place, a building. I know you've been outside for all these years. It's gonna happen though.
So are the cops just staking this out because they think this is where the killer is gonna?
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, it's a smart play. I mean, you feel safe. You're surrounded by your friends, and if you're a cop, like they're clearly going for her.
Why is Matthew Lillard wearing a robe?
I don't know. I swear, I don't know. I just want to punch him in the face.
I'm so glad Hollywood finally decided that maybe he's not the best idea.
Do you think Hollywood just gets together every 6 months, like who's in, who's out? Like Matthew Lillard.
Meetings in session. Everyone, calm down. Paramount, you'll get your turn in the back.
Paramount, we let you have Paramount Plus. No one's gonna subscribe to it, but you got it.
Matthew Lillard was like the Jeremy Lin of actors. They're like, okay, there was a stint where we thought this worked, and then we just decided that he just can't hang anymore. And Courtney Cox. So, goddamn, Courtney Cox is at this party.
Well, she's just stopping by.
Matt, I don't care if you're an adult. Anybody who's anybody is at this fucking kegger.
He's like, listen, I know there's a curfew involved, knows a killer out, and there's high school drinking going on, and probably sexual sex.
Infamous garage scene.
Yep.
This might be my favorite scene in movie history.
Oh, yeah, we see the 2 reasons why.
Well, also the logistics of it makes no
sense. Okay.
Dude, there's nothing cooler than your garage fridge. Your beer fridge, basically.
And also, now I haven't had pets growing up, but did anyone have a pet door on their garage door?
I didn't, but no, I had no pets.
Well, how else is the pet supposed to get into its car, you know?
I don't get it. So many problems with this scene here. One is if the beer is in the fridge, then she is not found for like 3 hours. So are you telling me that no one gets beer? Like no one else
Not
gets
with
beer?
all those Tostitos chips. That's what's really
They're taking shots, man. You don't need wasted calories.
The only thing I believe in this is Matthew Lillard, her boyfriend, literally does not know that she's gone for 3 hours, which in high school I could totally believe. Like, where's your girlfriend? I don't know.
He's like, I don't know, and I don't care, bro.
But I'm having fun, so yeah.
Because I'm holding the beer bong. That is my girlfriend tonight, is this beer bong.
I never realized how sparkly Ghostface robe is.
He just had a peel. He's glowing.
A garage door couldn't kill you too, by the way. It doesn't have enough pressure.
According to the warning label on my garage, it can.
Oh, you believe that? They're just trying to scare you, dude.
We're going to inspire a new movie about the garage killer. It's like the cell phone can't kill you. Yes, it can.
I do kind of like the angle Craven has the camera at here. It's like tilted a little bit to make you feel like more close quarters.
Yeah, looking up at the killer, looking down at the victim.
She should just cut him with her nipples.
Well, she's a witch,
It
right?
is cold in there, man.
Yeah, Cycly's theory that an actor can only play one character, so she would be a witch here.
But has she honed in her powers? I mean, that's the question.
Dude, if you threw a bottle at me, would it shatter when it hit me? Like, that just seems insane.
Let's try. This is what I love. Ghostface Killer, the rapper, the killer in Ghostface, is clearly just a klutz.
He's one of us. He's an everyman. She really didn't have to crawl through the door because she was kind of winning the battle, you know?
Yeah, she could have continued to kick his ass.
Could she have fit? I think she could have.
I think she could have. This must be a Sears high
She's
quality.
already got the biggest part of her through.
I mean, but she had some chips and it was salty and made her bloated. It's just,
Does she have to be nipping too? I mean,
it's cold outside, and I want two guesses who made that call on that scene.
Absolutely no fucking way that garage door could lift her. I don't care how. I'm not even saying she's big. There's no way, and that would not happen either.
I mean, I feel like the springs on the garage door could pick up. She's like 120, 130 pounds.
A garage door is not that heavy either.
Garage door is fucking heavy. Go turn off the power. Like, go lift the garage itself on its own.
I'm saying when it's going up, your weight could make it not go up.
Again, depends on the garage, man. Those 90s garages, they were built different.
Wow, they're actually going to let Billy in.
And why is everyone leaving? Like, the party's over? I mean,
I think they must be out of chips. Is the only thing I can think.
We got plenty of beer, but no Tostitos, so.
Fuck this.
I think it's Matthew Lillard's smile. Like, I don't know. It just makes me, like, really annoyed.
He's just so cool and energetic, and it's awesome. Which is weird because that's the role that Jamie Kennedy usually plays.
Dude, one thing I love about like watching old movies is like the labels on products, like the old Cheetos bag.
It's like, man, I'm gonna throw a raging kegger. Well, make sure you have enough chips because last kegger didn't, and it's just
people
terrible.
are still talking about it. It's a fucking black eye on my high school career.
Horn, since you don't remember completely, guesses on the killer? We're about 20, 30 minutes away, I think.
Let's say Jamie Kennedy.
Whoa.
I like it.
I will say, with this movie, when I first saw it the first time, literally anybody could say someone's name, the killer, and make a pretty decent case.
Yeah.
They did leave it up to a lot of interpretation, which is kind of cool.
I mean, and I literally even like the principal. I mean, up till the point that he got murdered.
Billy seems obvious, I think.
Yeah.
Too obvious.
I mean, Jamie Kennedy seems obvious too because of his obsession.
I really
with
thought it was David Arquette.
But David Arquette, he's holding the mask when she opens the door.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't Neve Campbell one of the killers in one of them?
I think she poses as it and like attacks the killer.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the most recent one. The one like it came out like 5 years ago.
If this connected to Saw, would you guys be happy?
If everything's connected to Saw, I'm happy. Everything is connected to Saw, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if they can make it make sense, I'm actually gonna look up the new Scream. I wonder if Neve Campbell. Oh, sorry, 2022 is when the new one comes out.
I can't wait that long.
Courtney Cox is in it, and Neve Campbell's in it.
Jesus. What about Rose McGowan?
David Arquette is in it.
Oh, really? Well, I'm surprised he had free time on his schedule.
I know, he's super busy.
I can't remember. I guess all of them survived.
Well, I would hope. I mean, yeah, maybe.
It's called Scream, so like they're kind of, it's like a soft reboot, I guess.
I kind of want to watch all of these now.
I did a rewatch of them a few years ago, and it's fun. Like, they're all fun. Like, the first one's the best, but yeah.
Like, if you're, if you had a boy-girl kind of party, like in 8th grade, and you're all just down in a basement eating chips and stuff, like, these are movies that you watched.
Yeah. And again, like, there's concepts of it, like, where I think people like Horns and I enjoy these more because you get the fun thriller aspect and slasher film, but doesn't take itself too seriously. But it's also referencing the genre itself. And so I get, like, you get 2 times the enjoyment because there's a lot of different elements it's going for.
The guy who wrote the new one coming out, his name is James Vanderbilt, and he also wrote Zodiac.
Okay.
So you think it's going to be, like, good? Or are they just going to be fun?
I don't know.
I don't even know if Zodiac is good. I don't know if anyone can tell me if Zodiac is good or not. I want to say Zodiac's good. And then you're like, but is it?
I know. I kind of don't like it.
But I kind of do. And I don't know. like I tell myself I like it. I'm like, no, I don't.
I'm just not sure yet.
Honestly, I want to meet someone who has a definitive opinion on Zodiac.
What are those snacks on the right side of the table?
Not sure. What?
This guy in the back's grabbing the Doritos.
I love how they still have like 3 other movies that Jamie Kennedy brought over to watch.
So he's like the cool dude because he works at, like you were saying, Matt, he works at the video store. You can get him a fucking hookup. Guys,
but also you have that one
that I got at the old movie price.
And also you have that one friend that you're like at a party, he's like, let's all watch a movie. He's like, no, we're having a good time.
Yeah, it's gonna kill the party dead.
Music.
The guy to the right is just so close to Chris Klein, but just not.
But I love this about Jamie Kennedy. Just going to town. This is when I think Wes Craven gets really excited. Like, Wes Craven's done this at parties. Like, he starts talking about horror films. And they're like, shut up. He's like, no, I want to talk about this. Sex equals death.
Kennedy's another one, man. He's just like, a certain, like, liquor, like a shot. Like, you can only have so many of them, then you're just kind of done.
You can only mix them with certain things, otherwise it's like...
But he's a shot I can handle versus Lillard, which is like a shot like...
Who just keeps sticking out his tongue for some reason.
Why are you taking that shot? Am I the only person who doesn't like it?
Why are they filming them again?
Courtney Cox's character is filming them to
find out
see what happens. Yeah.
And also maybe get a softcore porn out of it, too. You never know.
Yeah, we don't know if they start making out. Who knows?
I do like the element of the 30-second delay, though.
Kennedy honestly hasn't been in a movie in like 20 years.
I don't... Dude, fuck. Honestly, like, outside of, like, random appearances, maybe in a clip, like, in a show, or not Undercover Brother, Malibu's Most Wanted. I don't remember shit from him.
This is another question I have, Cycly. So, someone reported an abandoned car in the woods. Like, who reported that? It wouldn't be the killer. Why would the killer want...
I think the killers did report it, actually.
Why?
Well, with Horn's not here, I'm assuming he can't hear us. It's because they're trying to frame... Here, I won't say it just in case he can't.
Okay,
they're trying to frame someone.
Okay.
They're trying to frame someone specific. And to the car, yeah. Well, actually, I can say this. It's Neve Campbell's dad's car. And he's been missing since the beginning of the movie, and he has no alias. And Courtney, like you said earlier in the film, where Courtney Cox's dad is a suspect, I think it's just like that. They're trying to pin it. So
everyone knows he's at Stephanie's house. Just no one will admit it. She's not quite divorced yet, but...
And based off Jamie Kennedy's little speech, you're like, yeah, she's not going to have sex because sex equals death.
What I love about Neve Campbell here is she's still not 100% that he's not trying to kill her, but I'm going to let you inside me.
Yeah. She's like, well...
Bold move.
He said he loved me, and if I have sex with him, he definitely won't kill me. Because I had sex with him, right? He's a good guy.
The end of this, too, the killer's motive is actually pretty bulletproof. It's pretty good.
They would have gotten away with it, too, if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
Damn kids, I know. Yeah. So, yeah, now we're at the point where it's like, if you can rule out anyone who answered the phone from the killer... Or that's how you can rule out anyone who answered the phone and talked to him, obviously. So my pick is fucked.
I don't know, man. Don't give up on yourself.
Geiger, I don't know if you want to bring this up, but there is a debate among the Broforce squad that you and Banner have a lost commentary on this movie, which...
I still feel like
I love how we don't know. How is that a question? I don't understand.
But me and Banner don't remember if we actually did it or not. We did now, Jeff, we did a review on it. Just me and Banner, right?
A Broback, yeah.
Okay. I think that's what we're thinking of, because I don't think I've ever done a commentary on this now.
But every time you bring up the review, Banner goes, I swear we did both.
I know. I wish he was on this, because I think after a while, well, the whole time he'd just be like, Geiger, are you sure we didn't do it? And I'm just like, I don't think we did. I really don't.
And after the whole movie, he'd be like, wait a second. No, we didn't. Like,
the reason why is because our podcast hasn't been out that long since the whole Weinstein thing came out. And during the review, we didn't say anything about it because it didn't come out yet. And I would have remembered the commentary we haven't even made fun of it as much because it's not as prevalent now. I mean, that was 3 years ago?
Yeah, he's about to die in prison.
Yeah, I would have made fun of it a lot more, and it's almost time has wounded me because I feel bad about making fun of it right now.
Whoa. Dude, teenagers, bro, they don't give a fuck the way they drive,
you know me, Jeff. I'm pretty liberal when it comes to potted plants.
Right.
It's where I draw the line, and I get pretty pretty touchy.
So the juvenile in me likes to think, oh well, they just got married because their characters are falling in love. Like they can't separate their work from their personal life.
This is true though. When people I can't believe actors fall in love, but remember when you were in high school and you were part of a science project and you got teamed with a chick, and then after a while you're she's hot. I've never noticed it, but she's actually pretty hot.
100%. And then her feelings towards me were he's fucking annoying. I've always known it. Now I just reaffirm it.
One time I got paired with one of the smartest girls in school, and one of my friends was like, have you ever noticed her fun bags? I'm like, oh God. I haven't, actually.
You're you're an animal.
The director did awesome here a couple seconds ago. He's like, okay, why don't you guys cutesy roll down the hill and Arquette will land on top? That's never been done.
That's when she knew.
Okay, so they had sex, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this is what I love about what Wes Craven does again about the whole genre. This whole movie's a worship to this slasher genre. And they just admitted that if you have sex, you die. And so again, the audience is now thrown because you now think she dies because she had sex, because that's what you were told.
Well, she lost her immunity basically now.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that Billy's going to lose interest in her now.
I love after he had sex with her, she's like, so who'd you call when you were in jail? You didn't want to ask me that before we had sex?
Like you said, Geiger, it's
you still aren't sure if I'm trying to kill you. And you wanted to, okay.
Look, the part of your brain that connects murder and sex is right next to each other. So
that's true. Those synapses, yeah, they're like cross streets, really.
Don't check it online. I'm right.
She's just scared that if he's the killer, she's going to be turned on even more and want to do it again.
And he's afraid that that's going to happen because he's not a fucking machine, Jeff. He needs about 20, 30 minutes to reboot here.
And I don't like to be touched afterwards.
I know.
Don't you think she's probably mad? She definitely, it's her first time. She didn't get off. He cared only about himself. This is why she's mad at him. We've all been there.
Isn't it such a woman though, after you have sex and then she's mad about something? You're like, what do you we just had sex. Did you not want to fight about this before? I'm not upset.
Billy, if anything, is probably happy. He's like, okay, thank you. Now you know I didn't do it.
Now will you have sex with me again?
I don't know. You were acting really weird. He just murdered me though, so I can't be him.
I mean, did you need to clean the knife? I don't understand that.
If you're just inside Neve Campbell and you got slashed in the throat, would you be fine?
Yeah,
that'd be good.
90s Neve Campbell? Yeah, I'd be like, all right, whatever.
House with multiple staircases.
She was going to want to talk afterwards, so we avoided that.
I would have liked to play at Augusta before I went, but I guess this is fine too.
Whose house is this again?
It's Matthew Lillard's.
Lillard's parents. Because he's in high school, remember? He's not 28.
Oh, right.
Come on. No.
Forgive me. I don't think that surfboard would really do much, but Ghostface is not the most determined.
Ghostface has been drinking tonight. He's been having a good time.
And he's been having every time I've seen him, he's had a Tostitos chip in his hand, too.
So after this, I thought the killer was Billy. So the first time. So when I watched that, I was just like, holy shit. I'm like, and it really threw me for a whirlwind.
Because even while he's in the room with her, he's getting kind of upset that she doesn't believe him,
He's like, what do I have to do to prove to you that I'm not the killer? I already went down on you. I don't even do that to chicks.
I'm so stubborn in my relationships. I'd be like, you know what? Fuck you. I will be the killer now. You want me to be the killer? I'm going to start killing people. Give
And
me the
everyone
mess.
knows who's rich that owns a boat. If you land on it, it's just really soft like a mattress.
100%.
It won't break your back.
Jamie Kennedy lives a pathetic life. He's like, guys, I had to use my employee discount to get all 3 of these. You just leave me
There's
here alone.
no one there anymore.
It's awesome. And no one got a beer for 3 hours. That makes no sense.
Well, people were leaving the party, you know. They want to it's the curfew. They want to respect it.
It's funny because he's Jamie also.
Man, when you're at a party, I mean, there's 3 things you want. Like, you either want to get laid or you want to eat when you're that drunk.
Yeah.
There's
Sometimes
been times where
both.
I'm like, I could get laid or I could go home and try to beat dominoes back to my dorm. I think I want to do the second
Yeah,
one.
or like a Taco
Really.
Bell commercial comes on. You're like, damn, actually, that.
Sounds amazing.
The camera guy's like, look at this murder. Also, I'm not bald, by the way. I wear the hat like it's a professional thing.
The only problem I have with this film is that the killer's motive is all over the fucking place. Like, it's almost like they'll just kill everyone. Like, even Michael Myers kind of has a train to his. He's like a real serial killer, where like the victims make sense, but this person just kills anybody.
But that's kind of the point, though.
Once you've had a taste.
You want this killer to have like standards and not just be like in it to kill everyone.
It's a 30-second delay. Oh, the killer's right. It's awesome. The killer runs a 4.6. So
the 30-second delay is how I feel like when I'm streaming sports and I'm getting alerts on my phone.
Oh, isn't that
like, God damn it.
Like your friends are texting you about it?
Yeah.
In this case, you'd be like, oh, Ghostface just slashed so-and-so's throat. Like,
Dude,
I'm
come
behind,
on, man.
guys.
We just called a timeout.
So 96, I mean, this was like the middle of Friends, right?
Yeah.
I'd say so, yeah. I can't believe Jennifer Aniston didn't really get any Well, I don't know if Office Space happened before or after Friends.
I think Office Space was
Rockstar.
during Friends. Yeah.
She's in Rockstar with Wahlberg, too.
Yeah. But even Office Space was like not a hit at the time, right? It was kind of like a cult classic later on.
It was definitely a cult classic.
Well, if he's in here, Dewey will definitely find him.
Is there a phone in the van? Listen, I think we should just stay off the phone because that's how people die.
It's kind of his move, you know? Let's not give him home field.
Dewey's like, maybe we should just load the box against like fucking Aaron Rodgers or something. He'll just throw over the top all day.
I did find a murder in here. Murder of planet Earth. Not one goddamn person put anything in the recycling bin. Okay. Bunch of half-open bags of chips. I mean, finish what you start.
Also, too, Jeff, like chips, like that usually has to go with something. It's like, have you ever just eaten French fries?
Not by design, no.
Like, I mean, chips usually go. Like, are you gonna have wings or something to the side? Anything?
Again, the amount of snacking at this party. Maybe I'm going to the wrong types of high school parties when I was in school because. It just seems snacking seems way more of a priority than drinking, and that was never the case.
Yeah, this is more of like an adult, like, playing Pictionary party where like, yeah,
right.
The snacks are important, and I'll also maybe have 3 beers out of my 6-pack.
So I left, Matt was talking about food. I come back and Matt is talking about food.
Yeah.
Am I surprised?
What's the green paint from? Like, why is there green on the windshield?
I think it's just the blood that's reflecting from the leaves.
Would a cordless work?
These people are rich. They have good ratios,
I'm still confused about the phone technology then, because Billy had a Nokia earlier, but now it's like obviously important to the plot. That's why the 2022 one will be interesting, because like them not being able to reach law enforcement is.
This is an awesome scene too.
It really is, and again, Horns, you and I are such lovers of the genre. How technology has really
hurt horror.
Yes, because all these. And Strangers did it so well because they have the cell phones, the way they were able to get away with it. Like it's just so hard to do.
But I will say it's also given as much as it's taken away, because I think you and I are both unabashedly huge fans of like
Ship
the
Drivers, am I right? Sorry.
Unfriended movies.
Yes, actually, check those movies out for sure. We should do a commentary on those.
Oh, definitely.
This is why women were allowed to drive in California for a while.
They actually use this as video evidence in court. Like, well, but that's a movie, so.
This is a Wes Craven.
I don't know, after watching all the videos in Texas this last week, Matt, I feel like no male should be driving.
True.
I agree, Matt, with what you said earlier. Ghostface is fun as a killer because he's like, you can get away from him. It's not like Jason or Michael Myers, where like no matter how, like you can run a mile ahead of him and you're just gonna walk around.
Jeff, you're playing football. He's your ex.
100%.
He's not a slot.
You got to get him outside.
Hiding outside.
With that big body, he's definitely a red zone threat. Jesus.
Yeah, he's not a game breaker, but if he's a possession receiver.
So maybe the killer's Keyshawn Johnson if it's, what is this, 98?
96, yeah.
Worst part here is when Ghostface takes the aux cord and puts on just this horrible playlist.
This was a year before Titanic. I just even thought about that, saying 96. Damn.
Have you heard the new song from the New Radicals? They're going to be around for a while. Pretty good band.
I was into these guys way before anyone else. Oh, God, you're one of those.
This is weird to think about. Backstreet Boys weren't even out yet.
Really? They didn't have their first album yet?
90s. I think they were like 98, 99.
What's this, 96?
Yeah.
So your life really technically hasn't even started yet because you count your life as when the Backstreet Boys came out.
I'm wrong. Backstreet Boys 96 was their first album. 2000 was 99 was Millennium.
Right. Black and Blue was what, like 03?
2000, man. Not a lot of time between Millennium and Black and Blue.
It'd be really cool if Millennium was released in like 2002. Like not in the new millennium.
Just now. If I'm Sydney, I just shoot everybody. You have plausible deniability that you were scared for your life. That's what cops do all the time.
Jamie Kenny's like, I just need to get those VHSs back because my manager's going to be fucking pissed if I don't return them tomorrow.
They're free rentals. They're not free returns. Am I right?
Billy's like, I think I can have sex again now.
All the blood's in my penis that saved my life.
I mean, you might have to do most of the work, Sydney, but I was kind of planning on asking that anyway.
She's had a rough night. I mean, we've all been there. We lost our virginity. A killer's on the loose. They're after us. You have a gun in your hand.
Yeah, we're out of chips. You can rank which is worse.
Honestly, if you haven't lost your virginity and those things didn't happen, have you really lived?
First thing Billy would ask is like, we need a Tide pen to try and save this thermal.
He's like,
but it's
I
1996.
Die.
There is no Tide
I
pen.
look like Johnny Depp.
Fuck.
In the really 90s, I know we've made a lot of comments about Johnny Depp, but he looks like, I think was his name Gavin, a Bush lead singer. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Bush? He looks exactly
He was actually
like that
Gwen
guy.
Stefani's first husband.
Yes, that's right. I think it's
Gavin
just,
McGraw.
that's what guys, not Gavin McGraw, but that's what guys look like in the 90s.
I don't want to be anything that I haven't been lately.
Oof, here we go.
That's the One Tree Hill intro I know because my fiance's watching it on.
We're finding out the killers. Killers, plural.
Yeah, Jeff, what do you think about this?
Great twist. This is almost like a first watch for me because I don't remember this scene really at all.
I love it because like Wes Craven's like, I'm going to keep telling you it's Billy to the point to where you're convinced it's not.
Well, having two killers, he gives you at one point you can rule every single person out, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I don't think Matthew Lillard's character is ever seen in the same room as the killer, right?
Mm-mm.
So do we ever find out who was who at what point?
Yeah, you kind of do. I mean, like you can put it together.
Obviously Matthew Lillard stabbed him falsely.
Right.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that they were both involved in Drew Barrymore's murder because they were able to be in two places at once. One was outside, one was inside, and they were able to lift her body onto the tree.
So why are they defending Cotton Weary again?
You'll
they had
find
him in
that
their
out.
killer fantasy league.
They're playing Killer Bingo, and She is the upper right square, so I'm going to let you find it out by watching.
Again, the meta aspect here is so great.
Mm-hmm. And that's what, like, you have to give credit to this movie because it plays both sides of it perfectly. It's is it a great movie that's going to win Oscars? Is it going to the greatest horror movie ever? But it literally plays the genre. It's a good slasher movie on its own, and it pays respects to what got it here, and it also restarted horror movies in the late 90s and early 2000s. There were talks about, like, if you go read articles in the 90s, that horror was dead until this movie came on.
So Billy's dad was having an affair with her mom, so they pulled off the father-son hook up with the mother-daughter combo. That's a rarity.
Do you think she's more upset that she's about to die or that she lost her virginity to a guy that is going to kill her and also killed her mom?
I mean, again, if you haven't had sex with someone or lost your virginity to someone who did exactly that, like, how do you not?
I was saying she'll be at college parties and they'll be like, "Oh, that's nothing. Listen to this." And she'll be like, "Well, no, that seems significant."
The motive, though, is so great because it's so, like, 90s. Like, okay, so your parents are going to get a divorce. Like, welcome to, like, everybody. Like, who cares?
Like, if you could fast forward 6 years, like, oh, everyone gets divorced. Okay.
Why do you think emo started right after this? My Chemical Romance are watching this movie like, I have so many ideas.
Matt, what's the line in Neighbors where he's like, I don't know, man, I'm a victim of divorce. I don't think I can do this. And he goes, well, my parents are still married and in love, and I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, so I think it's hilarious. So he called it's going to be a Scream Baby. He said the name, but actually this movie was originally called Scary Movie, but then they used it for the, I don't know, the Naked Gun Spaceballs type spinoff.
Which I think is one of the last great parody movies.
Yep. That, not another teen movie, and if you consider Euro Trip teen parody.
Yeah, that one I feel like is original enough to where it's...
Yeah, that's the
one. It kind of
one.
stands on its own.
Yeah. See, this is... And Matt, you and I were just talking about this when Horns was in the other room. The framing of the dad. I think they did have a really good idea, and be able to get away with it.
Yeah, man. I mean, when I'm 42, I don't think two high school kids can tie me up, but whatever.
Hey guys, if this was us, I don't want you to stab me. I'd like to stab you first. Whoever in this.
This is one of the greatest scenes in movie history because they're in two different movies. Matthew Lillard is in a shitty 90s scare thriller, and this Johnny Depp guy is like, I'm going to be in an Oscar movie one day.
Yeah. He's like, we're both trying to get different things out of this scene. Matthew Lillard is like the Ryan Johnson of in front of the camera. He's like, isn't it funny how everyone else takes this so seriously?
First of all, I have a very strict rule. Like, I don't want to call him Ryan. You have to say Ryan with an I.
Got it. And a fedora.
It's bullshit that he gets to be called Ryan. Like, he's normal. It's not. Let's get out of here.
This would be me and Banner trying to kill somebody, like stabbing each other. And we're like, dude, you did it wrong. Like, give me the knife.
You're getting pissed. Like, you definitely stabbed me harder than I stabbed you.
Banner would start stabbing himself, showing you how it should be done.
See, you got to put it in here, just really push it in.
It's like, you're gripping it wrong, first off. That's where the problem.
You're Banner, you're losing a lot of blood. Like, we have to, like, leave the scene, right, to get away with this?
But I'm pretty sure Billy's, like, had no problem with Matthew Lillard dying. I mean, I agree. I have no problem with him dying either. But that's his motive here.
And the
what do you think the cops are going to say, though, when they see Billy's shirt and it's like ketchup or whatever? Do they think they'll think that's kind of weird?
They don't have testing for ketchup versus blood. It's 96. The technology is not advanced.
Honestly, because of the quality of that thermal, they wouldn't even test it. They would just try and get it to an emergency dry cleaners that's open 24 hours.
And, okay, this is kind of a little maybe too morbid, when was Columbine?
I think it was 98.
Hey, last time this was brought up, I got censored, so let's just stop it.
Oh, I'm not trying to censor anything. I'm just saying, like, his look is very Columbine-esque. And
check out our Tombstone movie commentary. Cycling teed it up for me.
Yeah, 99 was Columbine.
99, yeah. And again, like, you don't know if people are going for specific looks for a reason, but...
God, Courtney Cox is like, I'm going to kill you because I can write a part 2 to my book.
Billy's like, fuck, that's actually pretty smart.
This is, and I think we're about to get to where Wes Craven gets really into... Yeah, Nev Campbell disappears. It was very much Jason. Not Jason.
It's kind of genius because it makes this movie sort of like impervious to critique because it is saying what it's like cutting you off. It's beating to the punch.
Absolutely. How do you say it's a bad movie? You can sit here and say, oh, like it's over the top and it's this and that, but then you can tell you that's the point.
It's like making fun of making fun of yourself in high school. It pisses off the fucking bullies because they're like, well, if you say it now, I can't.
This movie knows what it is.
This would be me and Banner, though. Now they can't find her. It's like, listen, let's get everything under control before we stab each other.
I can't decide whether you'd be crying or Banner would be crying.
Banner would walk back in with the bag of Tostitos.
Like, if I'm so we about to leave? Like, no, dude, I lost the chick. Like, this isn't good. We told her our whole plan, and now we're bleeding profusely. Like, I don't even know if I can walk upstairs.
He's like, Matt, don't take this the wrong way, but she really was not paying attention to you when you just could not hold her. You weren't selling it. I wonder those, like, voice, not decryptors, but the thing that, like, made their voice sound weird. I wonder if those were, like, a promotional item sold with this, or if that's just illegal. So they were like, yeah, you can't have that.
But you can get one of those, like, smoker things you put to your throat. And
the thing that's weird, though, guys, is so she thinks that he made the call to her from jail. So is he just on the jail phone, just with the voice decryptor? I was like, hey, what are you doing? This is just what I do. Oh, okay. Well, keep it under a minute.
I'm Johnny Depp from 21 Jump Street. Oh, well, then you can use the phone.
Keep it under a minute. We have rules around here. You know,
but that's why it's so good, because it makes you think it's not Billy. You're not thinking there's two killers. I mean, how often are there two killers in any movie you've ever watched, any horror movie? Strangers is probably the only one I can think, immediately off the top of my head that has three.
I mean, Matt, this is going to piss you off, but I just read it. Guess when this movie was released in 1996?
February, March.
December 20th.
I can't do it.
It's a
You don't want to watch a good Christmas movie with your family?
Either get it quick. Okay, so she dressed up as him there. I thought she turned into the killer like in Scream 4.
She does it in a
do
couple
it quick
movies.
or hold it until next September or even August.
Yeah.
But December, I will give them credit, though. December is when they released they knew this was going to be a big movie. So, that's when you release your biggest movies, technically.
This could be classified as a thriller, but it's a Halloween movie because all the fucking... What's your favorite scary movie? Jamie Kennedy watching Halloween and talking Jason. And all that.
We can get into this debate. Does scary movie necessarily mean Halloween, or does Halloween mean it's scary movie time? Because I am very much a person who does not mean just because it's a scary movie means it should be released during Halloween.
I think a scary movie is Halloween. I think a thriller can be any time.
But if you want if you want an impulse purchase where it's like, all right, let's go to the theater. What are we going to watch? If you want this to do better, it has to be released around Halloween.
See, but I'm pretty sure, and I could be completely wrong because I'm remembering this off nothing. I'm pretty sure Strangers came out like February or March. Like I just
but I would argue that that's still incorrectly marketed.
But then wouldn't it get old if only scary movies came out during October? I don't know.
But this isn't centered around Halloween.
Exactly, that's my point.
No, I don't think they have to necessarily be.
I don't even think they mentioned it was Halloween. It's probably fucking April.
I mean, you can be murdered any time of the year, and I think that's beautiful.
I think only in October you can be murdered.
Well,
That's true.
Agree to disagree.
Urge.
But if you get through that, then you get to eat a lot of food and then celebrate Jesus. So
Yeah, then you're good.
That makes sense because the first time I saw this movie was on VHS, and it was, like I said, I broke my arm in the summer of 1997, and that's when we watched it. So that makes sense that it came out in December. Because back then you had to wait 6 months after a movie came out in theaters. Now you wait like 2 weeks. And you can just watch it.
Yeah, movies in theaters are coming to HBO Max now.
Well, yeah, pre-COVID. There's another reference to being a movie. Love it.
Yep.
Courtney Cox is like, these two people did it. You can question them. Like, well, they're dead, so.
Silent treatment, huh?
Is Neve Campbell hotter with blood all over? That's a personal thing. I need help.
You got to get that worked out.
I think it's just because you see ketchup, and that makes anything more attractive to you.
It's true.
She's just gonna go on air like this.
I totally forgot my dad was just tied up.
Yeah, but you have to give her credit. Wouldn't you go on air if you're a journalist who likes to, make sales off this? And go in with the blood on your face.
If anything, I might rub a little bit more on my face.
Yeah, honestly, she needs more. I agree.
Dad, you don't have to mourn about mom anymore. I found out she's fucking someone else. That's why she died. Oh, well, that's great news.
Oh, great. I'm glad you told me that. That'll definitely help ease the pain.
And that's why it was a good tactic by the murderers, though, to be a good, framing the dad. If they weren't just, very, Geiger and Banner about it, they would have gotten away with it.
If it weren't for those damn kids.
The sniffling kids.
Dude,
once
how
again, crime
scene,
scene, but Courtney Cox can just walk right through, right into the living room.
Yeah.
In this movie, if you're a reporter, or at least have a news camera behind you, you have clearance anywhere. It doesn't matter.
Or Rose Mcgowan for some reason.
Because if you know somebody who knows somebody, yeah, you're good.
Who's Bob Weinstein? He was fucking listed as a producer here too.
Well, kids, that was Scream, directed by Wes Craven, whose
R.I.P.
cycle was on for the last hour and 15 minutes. What's your guys' final thoughts?
I mean, to me, this movie's genius. Horror is one of those things where it's very difficult to subvert all the tropes that we know and love. So Scream just literally steers into the skid, and I think almost accidentally becomes a brilliant film because of it. So it's very refreshing.
Completely agree. I can't think of a film that's honestly trying to play homage to a genre that is able to be successful on its own. Because like I said, if you're not a fan of the genre and you watch that movie, especially in the late 90s, you enjoy it as a thriller and not appreciating what the references to Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees or any of that. And it just stands on its own. But the greater you know about the genre, the more you love it. So I will always have a special place for Scream and all of the sequels we get out of it.
Yeah, man, I had a lot of fun. Of course, me and Banner did. It was one of the first months of the pod. We did a review on this movie, and I forgot how great it was. And I hope this goes over well, guys. Comment below. I'd love to do Scream 2, 3, 4. Apparently, there's a 5th one, and then do the reboot, because this was a lot of fun, except for Matthew Lillard.
Well, he's dead at least.
I just can't.
It's like if Draymond Green plays for your team, you're like, I love the sum of the parts here, but I fucking hate him.
Yeah, I just can't stand him. So.
And Matthew Lillard's like, no, man, I get it. I suck. Totally.
By the way, Scream 5 is the one that's coming out soon.
Nice.
So we have 4 real Screams. Right? Yeah.
This is where we're going to have a problem because Halloween, right? Now that's a whole different mess in terms of continuity, but 2 of them are just called Halloween and they're sequels to each other. So what are we doing?
They should just rename Halloween 3. Just change that one.
No one cares anymore. Was that the season of The Witch that didn't have Michael Myers in it? It was like a computer or something.
It's not even related to
these masks genre. People would wear, and it's just
we can't get in this conversation right now.
Could you imagine doing that today?
We've been the Bro4 Squad. Check out all our commentary on YouTube or iTunes. Subscribe to us on both those platforms so you don't miss any of our content. We're on Twitter at Bro4 Squad. Link us up on there. Tweet at us questions or commentaries you'd like to do. Check out our website, bro4squad.com. That's where we post squad blogs, all of our commentaries, pretty much anything that we do is on there. So Until the next Scream 2 or movie commentary episode we do, we will see you around.
Gotta go get some Jiffy Pop.
Could you imagine watching the new Scream and Ghostface mask isn't in it?
For some reason, I want chips right now.
That would be like watching the Halloween movies without my players.
It's just such a disgusting marketing ploy to like, is this a Halloween movie? Well,
what?
Sure, man.
It's like watching Open Water 3 with no water.
You're on the land.